Welcome back. Welcome back to the Kovacs Report. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It means we've got new comics. We're going to kick off with Wiccan Witches Road, part of the trifecta of books, which form the sort of mini-event surrounding the Sorcerer Supreme announcement that Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, is the new Sorcerer Supreme. So we have Wiccan Witches Road this week and Doctor Strange. And Sorcerer Supreme next week. Now, I'm going to go through this page by page, which means there will be spoilers, so beware. Like the video if you can, and please do hit subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. Now, let's dive into this book. So, let's just catch up, actually. Where are we? How did we get here? So, in the Imperial miniseries by Jonathan Hickman, Hulkling and Wiccan are caught in an assassination blast at the Galactic Council Summit, and they're hurled into space, and Hulkling's quite gravely wounded. Now, Wiccan barely sustains his protective spell around them as they drift in space and are ignored by passing ships, and, the war is erupting around them. Now, Hulkling nearly dies from his injuries, with the Alliance believing now that its Emperor is dead, because he is, of course, the Emperor. The Kree-Skrull Union completely collapses, and I guess they are going to get on without him for now. Now, the couple is eventually rescued, or rather crash lands on Earth, where they are dethroned and stripped of their Imperial titles. And Wiccan seems to have lost his magic. Now, that's where we are. Yes, Billy Kaplan, the Wiccan, he's having a bit of a problem getting his magic working. So that's kind of what you need to know, roughly, to get into this book. So it is Wyatt Kennedy and Andy Pereira, and the art is actually quite nice. I do like the art. So let's read what the little previously on type bit says. It says, once upon a time, the Scarlet Witch created twins out of chaos magic and fragments of the demon Mephisto. The souls of these twins were later reincarnated into the speedster Tommy Shepard and the magician Billy Kaplan. As the hero Wiccan, Billy helped form the Young Avengers, which was the original Young Avengers, was really, really good. Anyway, married teammate and love of his life, Hulkling Teddy Altman, and helped Teddy realize his destiny as the Emperor of the newly joined Kree-Skrull Alliance, becoming a regent and court wizard. But now the alliance has fallen. So there we go. So we start off here with exactly that. We get this little sort of explanation of what has come before, the Scarlet Witch birthing the children, their sort of fights and their foes and their love. But there's this weird little witch you see at the bottom here with the crooked teeth. We meet her later on. Anyway, where are we now? Well, we're at the crash-landed little ship that they were in, and they're climbing out of it. And as you can see, Billy's in a bit of trouble. He's got a twig sort of stuck in his side. And Teddy's not doing very well at all. You can see here, there's a lot of blood. He's mashed up, bashed up, and he's in pieces. It's not very good. So this is where Wiccan tries to use his magic to help heal him. And he realizes it's not working. Like, what am I going to do? I don't really know what's going on. So he decides to make a makeshift stretcher, one of the ones that you can pull. And he starts pulling him through the woods and hopefully find someone that can help. Then we get this little flashback story about the fact, well, how do you know how to make this sort of, this stretcher that you're pulling me on? And we get this story that, him and Katie, the Hawkeye, they went out on some camping trip while Hulkling was off in space, and he learned some life survival skills. I don't know why we went there, but we did. There's this story that she sort of cracked her ankle, and then she cracked her other ankle, and that's why he had to sort of, pull her all the way home. Now, she could have, just contacted someone. They could have got themselves out of there to safety and medical care quickly, but they thought it would be a good life lesson, something to learn with, because she's just one of those gals. Anyway, he grows tired after a while, as you can see. Okay. And he decides that he's going to have to leave him on the side and go out looking for help because he can't pull him any longer. But before that can happen, they hear a very, very loud scream. Oh, what's going on? So he puts him by the tree and tells, stay there. Don't come. You're in no place to fight, get up, or expend energy, which is something he ignores throughout this entire book. After a quick kiss, they are husband and husband. Wiccan finds this sort of decrepit village. It looks like there's been a bit of a battle here. And in he goes with his sword drawn, or rather Hulkling sword, and finds dead bodies everywhere, except this little lone child. Now, while he's sort of tending to her, this weird clawed hand grabs Wiccan, throws him straight through the wall of the little hut. And we find this very, very scary-looking creature here with a sort of skeletal head. Now they fight. They fight. It's called, I forget what it's called. We'll find out what it's called later on. But they fight, and it's looking like there's going to go bad for old Wiccan here. But just in the last second of time, Teddy jumps through, taking him over, bowling over, and together they defeat him and then set him on fire. And Teddy crumbles to the floor. Then this dude just turns up randomly. Okay, happens to be a doctor, which is great. But of course, Teddy is an alien, so we don't know how that's going to go. Anyway, back in safety, let's call it. Hoagland is recovering in bed, and the little girl gives Wiccan some flowers in gratitude. And we find out a little bit more information. These guys do not have phones. They live in one of these little villages where technology is sort of banned, let's say. They want a more sort of natural world to live in, so they don't have any type of technological interference. So he says, where can I find a phone? So, well, maybe a few hundred miles from here. It'll be a few days on foot, at least. You'll also have to contend with the Leshy you encountered earlier. That's what that little creature, that monster was. And he says, listen, they're forest spirits conjured by mystics. This old man here, he grew up hearing stories about them from his grandparents. They taught me to respect their existence, lest I or others like me be made victims of their tricks. He's like, well, this is definitely one hell of a trick. I thought forest spirits were supposed to be healers. He says they were, but something's changed them. They've become violent, bloodthirsty, monstrous. And Wiccan says, when did it start? It started when Roxanne built a facility nearby, and soon after they became the Leshy's first victims. Their conjurer, the witch, now takes residence in our woods. So there is a witch in the woods. He says, witch? What witch? He says, few have seen her face, even few have survived her wrathful magic or her homunculus. He says, how do I find her? We said, go west, where the old chapel once stood, follow the moon. It said the path will reveal itself to those looking, but beware of the fox. It will try to seduce you. Anyway, he decides that's probably a better way of getting them out of this mess. Maybe he can borrow some magic from them or a magic artifact and help them. And he says, listen, Teddy, stay here. You are very, very ill. You're injured. You need to heal. Stay here. And that's the second time he's told him. You know he's not going to do it. Anyway, after an embrace, off he goes. And as you can tell, Teddy's with him. He wasn't listening. Yet again, he wasn't listening. Now, while they get there, they are watched from the bushes. It's probably the fox. It is the fox. I've read the book. I know it's the fox. But they find this little house, which very, very much looks like a little witch's house indeed, with the bats and the skulls and everything else going there. There's a little joke about, him expecting something a little bit different, something more gingerbready. And there's little jokes all through it. It is quite a, what word would best describe this book? I'm not sure. Homely. I think homely is a good word. It's very innocuous, It's very much made for this target audience. Anyway, they find a little door and the fox turns up and says to run away, stupid boys. But of course, they don't trust it. But the house allows the fox to enter, and in they go. What do they find? Well, they find this weird, sludgy-looking creature here, which immediately attacks them. And while they're trying to fend him off, this very much witch-like silhouette comes out of nowhere and lops Wiccan's head clean off. And there we go. We go to black, and then we awake. And we find out that the witch has kept Teddy alive in this weird sort of mud-looking, sort of animated, or rather unanimated presence, let's call it. He's there, but he's not there. He's sleeping. And they have this conversation. This beheaded Wiccan has a conversation with the witch. Okay, so she explains, listen, I'm actually not the enemy here. I actually need you to make things right again. I need you to get your magic back, okay, and put things back together the way they once were. Because with your absence from this world, the magic's forgotten you because, you're not here. But if you want your magic back, you have to come and help me. So she says to them, I'm here to help you, Merlin's son. In your absence, this world's elements have plunged into a great chaos, a conflict that will burn the sky, dry its seas, and poison its soul. This world needs you, Billy Kaplan. It needs balance. So it's been foretold to this witch that he will come and arrive. So she's prepared. It needs Wiccan. It needs the demiurge, if that's how you pronounce it. You want me to save Earth? He asks. How do you expect me to believe that after what you've done to me? She goes, you cannot, but I need you just as much as you need me. I was once a tamer of the elementals like yourself, but those golden days have come and gone. This is your responsibility now, and it's a responsibility you've long ignored since you decided to chase the cosmos. So she weaves a little bit of magic Okay. And of course, predictable, very predictable. Who is this witch? Of course, she's the Baba Yaga, the very, very famous, mother of all witches. And off they go. Off they go down the witch's road to reclaim his magic, save his loved one, and save the Earth, all in one series, which will last approximately 10 issues. Let's not make any sort of foregone conclusions that this is going to become a permanent fixture in Marvel's weekly books or monthly books. It won't. This is a 10-issue story at best. Now, is it good? The art is actually really nice. The story, well, it's exactly what you would expect. It's pretty harmless. It's a bit of fun. There's a few surprises here and there. A lot of predictability too. But all in all, it's a nice little story about Wiccan and Hulkling. And if you like those guys, if you do like those guys, then this book really, really is for you. So I don't really have many complaints about it at all. Will I be sort of picking it up every month and excited to read it? No, it's definitely not for me. And again, I'm not big fond of these characters anyway, so I wouldn't be picking it up normally. But it's not bad at all. I'm going to give it a positive thumbs up this month. So if this is your bag, you're in for a little treat. There we go. So Wyatt Kennedy and Pereira done a pretty good job of this. And you know what? I'd like to see how it all ties into the other books too, Doctor Strange and Sorcerer Supreme. Because I'm assuming they might eventually sort of intersect, as it feels like a little mini event, much like Doctor Strange, which is probably going to end in 10 issues too. I think the only surviving book will be the Sorcerer Supreme until it's relaunched and renamed to Scarlet Witch. And maybe one day Dr. Stephen Strange come back and reclaims his sort of his role as the Sorcerer Supreme. But there we go. Not bad at all. Not bad for the first book of the week. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Hopefully you've liked the video. Hopefully you subscribed. And hopefully I'll see you in the next review. So take care and we'll see you soon.